Just for the record, this was already made public by the founder of the University of Ottawa Marxist Student Union, who once again in a public post made libelous claims about myself with no evidence to back them up. So this is not me making it public. It was already made public by this individual, who claims to be the founder of the organization. Once again, he made a post making a series of claims against myself that were unfounded. Except this time, I took exception to it. And this time, it became a short exchange of public words and some private ones, where I specifically asked for proof of me supposedly being transphobic, homophobic, or sexist. This is what I got in response. In the earlier of the two posts dated May 23, 2013, you criticized trans activists for confronting DGR, which denies that trans people exist. That is a transphobic statement, acknowledging that there is a debate on transphobia, which is to say giving any credibility to the side that denies the trans folk exist, is transphobic. Again, these are political arguments, not personal attacks. Instead of accusing me of libel, why don't you discuss this? And before he tries to claim that this is photoshopped, here's two more captures of that same message. Now let's take a little bit closer as to what this statement is actually saying. As so-called proof that I'm transphobic, he refers to a statement where I say I'm going to investigate the issue of trans. And that somehow by me announcing that I'm going to make an analysis is somehow proof that I'm transphobic. Apparently, according to this person and this organization, Mao's real words were, any investigation, no right to speak. Let's look specifically at what he says. Acknowledging that there is a debate on transphobia, which is to say giving credibility to the side that denies that trans folk exist, is transphobic. I never said I was going to side with GDR. I said that I was going to do my own investigation. This organization has taken that to automatically presume that I was transphobic. This is either done out of complete ignorance or malicious intent. This statement deliberately takes what is a large, complicated issue, both socially and scientifically, and reduce it to either being their opinion or you're a hate monger. This is tremendously ignorant, and this is very typical of the way that this organization has proceeded. It is a large, complicated issue with tiny little nuances to it, of which people could disagree on, which this organization feels doesn't exist. This is essentially saying, you either think the way we do, or we will call you a hate monger. This demonstrates a very clear and malicious intent to slander or defame my character if I do not automatically bend to what it is that they think. This is an attempt to stifle any debate surrounding an issue. That is anti-Marxist. That is fascist. Now let's go on to the whole issue of supporting violence against women. In the earlier of the two posts dated May 23, 2013, you criticized trans activists for confronting DGR, which denies that trans people exist. This is a transphobic statement. This statement is very misleading. By confront, what he really means is a group of women were attacked by activists and assaulted. What happened was a group of women were attacked by a group of thugs, and I couldn't think of a better way to describe people who attack women as thugs, came in, held these women down, wrote on them with markers, destroyed literature, and threw a piece of food at them. That is called assault. That is a criminal act. According to this group, simply not supporting the act of violence against women, I must somehow be transphobic. I think this statement makes quite clear that this organization does support the use of violence against women as a form of protest. Apparently, they think it's okay for activists, in this case trans activists, to go around assaulting women because they don't agree with what they think. There's no debate. It is just a physical threat of violence, an act of violence against women, and that seems to be okay. No matter the content of what the women said, that in no way justifies the use of violence against women. This attack was a very misogynistic attack. This was filled with rape imagery, the marking of women with these markers, their literature, and throwing food at them. This was a very misogynistic attack. It had a great deal of rape symbology in it. This is not acceptable in any way, shape, or form. Attacks like these can have serious psychological effects on the victims. This is a statement made by the founder of this front group, advocating the use of violence against women. This is cowardly and despicable. I do know that the RCP does not support such things, and I would hope that the RCP itself would correct their front group on this. This is the organization that claims that I'm sexist for supposedly having said something mean to a woman. The organization that condones the use of violence against women to defend their own personal party line. It is infuriating for me to stand here and be accused of sexism by a group that advocates the use of violence against women. The University of Ottawa Marxist Student Union really should be denounced and criticized by their party for this line, for thinking that this is okay. It is not okay. It is never okay to advocate the use of violence against women simply because you disagree with them. This organization, I think, has finally exposed exactly how despicable it really is.